allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Gary.
Roll call, Bud. All right.
Here.
Here.
Ken,
Here.
Alan Michelson, Jim, Matt.
Okay, you all had time to read the minutes. If there's no questions or corrections on the minutes, we need to make acceptance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You have the bills in front of Gary, there are any additions.
Yes, we have one late addition, that is $1,360, bringing the total to $30,178.99.
$1,360.
Payable to Jim Brandenburg for work on non-incarcerated tab.
Make a motion to approve the meeting, so amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, before we start, first of all, I want to thank all the voters. I know you aren't all the voters, but thank all the voters for supporting our levy and passing our road levy. It passed by a large margin, and I hope that means that you agree with the way we've been spending your money, particularly your road money. Roads are expensive, and we've done the best we can, especially getting the government grants. It's helped a lot. And I also would like to thank all the people that worked at the polls, and Barb and Bud for opening the doors and closing them and whatever. Kelly, we missed you.
Thank you.
And then I want to take a minute to thank the deputies in the fire department for their help on Halloween. As far as I know, there were no incidents, but I know that the fire engine was around, and Jim had candy, and so everything seemed to go well, so thank you guys for that. And then I'm going to take a moment to mention that I'm sure that the council and all the community joins me in giving sympathy to the family of Bob Motes, who passed away yesterday. And I know that he was well known in this community, and I don't think there was a charitable event I can think of where people were having raffles or doing something where we didn't get a Bob Motes picture. And they're always so successful, so that helped raise a lot of money for the different groups in the community. So he will be missed. Okay, now we'll go on for safety. Oh, and congratulations to Ken Demner on his reelection. And we will be welcoming Leslie Burns in January to take the place of Keith Riddle, who thinks he's retiring. Now we can go on to safety.
Well, this being Veterans Day, special thank you to all veterans present today. Chief Cavanaugh, Mr. Bowden. Thank you for your service. We'll go right to Chief Cavanaugh Street today. Yeah.
3/8.
Good evening. In October, we had 59 calls for service. Chad, we had 2. We had 1. We had 46 in Lafayette Township. Chippewa had 7. Gloria Glens had 1. Village of Lodi had 1. And Westfield Center had 1. And our turnout time is about 1 minute and 45 seconds, which is down, which is great. So we're improving that time. About 5 minutes and 43 seconds to be on scene. We gave mutual aid to Lodi once. We gave mutual aid to Chatham twice, and we gave mutual aid to Westfield once, Guilford Township 1 time, and we received mutual aid for Chippewa Lake because we had another call going on. So In the past month, we placed a residential Knox box in Chippewa Lake for a resident in need. The Lions Club of Chippewa Lake purchased these boxes. They're vital for individuals who need assistance. So if you need a lock box for your house, let us know and try to arrange that for you. So if you're living alone or you're and you fall off quite a bit or have medical emergencies, please let us know. Halloween open house was a great success. We had approximately 200 guests on the 28th. We had pumpkin painting with kids, coloring contest, search and rescue dogs, the bookmobile was there, and the Medina Fire Department smoked trailer. And we did trick or treat down here and all over the area. It was a great success. We have a Medina High School student shadowing this month. He's a good kid. He wants to be a firefighter and doing a great job. Will Gross is doing well in his fire safety inspector course. He's also doing rescue task force training in Cuyahoga County, and we're going to be working on that for the county as well. So it's a county initiative we're working on. Phil Willis, Ben Greggy, and Lieutenant Hall completed the incident safety officer course at the University of Akron. It was a free course offered, and it was a great opportunity for them to expand their knowledge. We trained on a donated house on Columbia Road, so thank you, Nick Kittle, for use of this home. We did clothesline deployments, we did search and rescue, and it's a great opportunity to train. And we're going to work on our traffic incident management course, which is a course that teaches us how to be safe on the roadways. So it's a good course for the winter. It's a 10-hour online course, so firefighters don't like it right now. We applied for the March radio grant in the amount of $20,000 for radio equipment, including 2 mobile radios and 4 portable radios. Breathing Air Systems completed an annual inspection of our SCBA fill station. And we tested approximately 7,000 feet of hose in October. 2 sections failed and were disclosed. Robert Stewart, who is a resident of Chippewa Lake, has served us for 10 years. He has got the job out of Sandusky County, and he has resigned just because he is very busy and it's really challenging for him to continue on. So he will be sorely missed. But we also have a new firefighter, Todd Kemp. He's a dual certified firefighter 2 paramedic. And he comes from a significant amount of experience. He was on Cleveland EMS, and he also worked with the government as a contractor as a paramedic in Africa. So great addition to our department. So that's all I have. Any questions?
You mentioned something about a new advisory committee that you're appointing.
Yes, sir. So I'm working on an advisory committee for me, myself, and kind of get a feel of what people want and need in the community. And so I'm looking for some individuals to be a part of that. So if you are interested, let me know, and I'll be in contact. I appreciate it.
And Chief Captain, I did reach out to me, Mayor, but I think that would have to be with your approval to sit on this.
Go ahead. Anybody else want to be on that committee?
I'd be happy to have anybody. It's not a voting committee. It's just hey, this is what we're planning on doing, and what do you guys think?
Just so y'all know, we paid to be in the fire district with them, so, it's nice to have representation from the village.
100%.
And with the most recent group of trustees, they've actually welcomed us to be part of their committee and part of the fire district. So anybody that wants to be involved in that, let me know. And you can go watch Alan and make sure he behaves.
Sounds like something good for Keith. He's retired, he's got plenty of time.
Well,
I don't hear him volunteering. He'll be in Florida, so he says.
Chief Captain is a good communicator, as you can see on the report that he gave, but he also does a Friday update. It's a summary of the activities, similar but maybe not as much in depth of what's gone on in the week. And that really goes to the township trustees, the people in charge of the fire district. I get carbon copies on it, but it's refreshing. It's good to see what's going on. To then, training, going to slides, everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Chief Kavanaugh. You do keep in touch with us very well. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank we'll move on to the report. Very excited to see that, we had targeted 100 hours for October, and we exceeded that at 101, so we're back in the green zone. RA had 36, Cornelius had 25, King had 40. King had 25, Yarborough had 40. Officer Cornelius is still down and out. He hasn't had any hours since March of this past year. Disabled. Any updates, Jim?
So I had a meeting with Ross, we're gonna, we don't know when he's coming back, so we're gonna put out another position to replace him in the spring. And if he does come back, there's plenty of other townships that he can put in for, but not fair to the village to keep waiting, so. We're good for the winter with me, Yarborough, and King. We'll get all the hours, and then when we start back up in the spring and it goes up, we'll have a part-time guy come out.
Okay. That
We're
worked.
on track.
That worked well in the past, so. But sorry for Cornelius being injured, but he's,
Alan,
I'm sorry, yes.
find out about him after, when you talk to Jim, sometimes in lines can help.
Help him, sure. For that. So, we're back on schedule for hours, and hope to sustain that. Our hours do start dropping off, 100 this month, 100 next month, and 80 through April. So we should have good coverage as best as we can. So thank you. I did have personal conversations with Captain Ross on that, and they're trying to find us another deputy when it comes around in the spring, not before, but hopefully it is going to come back. He's been good service to our community for a long time. I'll go into deputy activities, warrant service, 1, squadron ambulance 6, larceny 1, expert patrol 85, radar enforcement 1, Victor watch 32, I started to decline as people are out of town. 911 missed dial 1, canceled call, accidental form 1, assist other agencies 1, building check 1, carbon monoxide detector no symptoms 1, golf cart inspection 1, and that was for a total of 11 for the year. Suspicious circumstances 1, traffic complaint, reckless operation 1, 3 traffic stops for a total of 38 activities for the month. Anything on there that you want to comment on? And Jim was present for the Halloween activity, and he also had a sidekick riding with his daughter. And I was excited to know that she's actually participating in the Explore program with the Newtown County Sheriff's Department. So it's good to see that some of the offspring have some continued interest in what they do.
My choice.
Any questions from council or the audience?
Was the Monte Costa here?
Yep,
Oh, I didn't see him.
I sent a bunch of pictures to Alan, about the pictures we took.
And we provided a lot of candy for them to play, so you shouldn't make good friends.
Oh, yeah.
The only other in safety was the sirens project. I handed out kind of the PowerPoint presentation that Christopher Livingston and myself created. We wanted to give a presentation to Lori Clements at the council meeting earlier in the month, and that didn't come off like we hoped that it would. Christopher has been working on grants. Christopher, you got anything you want to say on what you discovered so far?
Not much. I've reached out to several of the agencies that we discussed as being potentials. Right now, they're trying to find gaps within their own agencies, see if they have money or if we're eligible. So I'm just waiting back from most of these agencies now to do more if we're eligible or not.
Yeah, we've been shut out so far some of it's timing of the year, if more money comes available. If anybody in the audience wants a copy of the PowerPoint that we're creating. I'm talking with the mayor, I'm sorry.
Can I get one?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I gave you. We'll get one. So with the mayor, the difficulty me trying to reach all the political entities, so we may come up with a special meeting with focus on sirens, to the people that should be there, and maybe a Zoom component to that. So we can Township has a lot of area that reaches the siren, but Park District is, doesn't want to participate, but I think Friends of the Park might be a good source for financing us. And we're in the $40,000 range. There's some variables, we have a radio decision. We're on a current radio system, proposing to go to the MARC system, requires another receiver, so do we just buy what we need right now, and if MARC comes on, buy another one, or do we buy a radio that we put the switch and go over to MARC's? The other decision was two sirens, one covers all of Chippewa Lake and Glory Glens, two. The other one's a little bit short, so they're roughly $3,000 apart, but I've been focusing on one that covers the whole area. And unknown maintenance issues, there's an annual maintenance, just come out and check things over, probably every 3 years, you'll have a battery change, there's a solar component that we can possibly use. So there's a few decisions as we go forward. So stay tuned for a date to be selected for a special meeting. I'll have that.
Now, with that in mind, Alan, to let all of you know, we got, well, first of all, I think you all remember that we were passing some ordinances recently that involve FEMA and the setup of FEMA's advisory group. So they are now forming this countywide advisory group. Basically, it consists of a person from every one of the subdivisions that passed those ordinances. I think they have 3 communities that didn't support them. But anyhow, they're gonna have their first meeting on the 15th of November. And I have decided to appoint Alan to this, only because this is FEMA. And you know, we've gotten some kind of, well, not accurate promise from FEMA about the siren. But the county commissioners are on this, the mayors, representing, not, mayors of Brunswick and Medina and Wadsworth are on it, and then trustees, one trustee from each of the participating townships, and then somebody from each of the villages. And since we passed those ordinances, we're part of this. So I think, Alan, this might be a good group for him to be involved in. And Christopher has, in Christopher's research on this siren, he found out that a lot of counties have actually a group in charge of the sirens in their counties. Medina County does not have that. So we're not the only community that doesn't have a working siren. There's, Christopher, how many did you say there were, 4 or 5 of them?
Last I heard, there were at least 4 that weren't working right. I know Litchfield, the one in their center circle, one of my friends was there on the first Saturday of the month and it didn't go off. I can't remember where the other 2 were, but I know when we saw the report that the sheriff sent to us, there were several things on that report that sends every night at midnight saying that there were things that needed to be attended to.
So one of the reasons that I thought Alan would be good on this is because of this siren. And, you know, I think that our county should probably have some group that takes care of these sirens also. They're important. And, you know, you can all say, oh, everybody's got their phone and everything, but not everybody does have their phone. And we particularly have people on the lake that may not have their phone, or just older people like me that don't have my phone on. I have my home phone. I have my cell phone in my purse. So, you know, there's not, you can't just assume everybody's going to get these signals. So anyway, I have, I would like to appoint Alan to this board. And do I need to do anything about that besides appoint him?
He needs to accept.
Oh, he did.
I accept.
They don't have to vote him in. Okay, so that'll be another one of Alan's jobs. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, well then we will go ahead to zoning.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
November zoning report. 9 Parker Ave. The tree was removed from the rear yard and normal cleanup requirements from it. I also spoke with Brad Winter, who's the building inspector. I have a call in to Richard Nelson, who's the chief building inspector, to try and get some teeth into this so that we can move forward with the demolition. I think it's time we can go forward with this. So, I haven't heard back from Mr. Nelson yet, but when I do, you'll know. 227 Rustic Brook, do we have anything on that, Alan?
Yeah, that property went up for sheriff's sale. And there was a buyer, which was Huntington National Bank, which had the mortgage on the property. So, and now they are the owner of it. So I've been trying to track down their maintenance division, and I did get a name. HNBRealestateandsales.com is where we should be. I've been trying to get a contact person so that we can let her know what's wrong with the property. And maybe you can give me an update on that, so I'll know what to say. Or I can put them directly in touch with you. I've done that in the past too.
Sure.
But at this point, it just changed hands. No further news.
Okay.
Alan was, I guess I've never heard of a bank in the sheriff's department. Were they the bank on this project?
Yeah, they were, I think they held the mortgage, but that happens pretty often. If
The-
nobody else bids on the property. And from what I've seen over the years is some of these banks will turn it over, sell it, get rid of it. Some will keep it for a while, and some seem to keep these properties indefinitely, and I don't know why. It just is a decision they made.
They bid on them, as people are bidding on them, and the bank outbid you.
Did they? In this case, I don't know. I didn't keep track. I just saw that they were the successful bidder at $122,000.
Trying to run the bid up.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you. I learned something.
Well, that's all I know about it.
What was the appraised value of that?
The appraised value was $99,000, so I was really surprised when I saw that. But it's Huntington Bank's responsibility now, and I'll follow up on that.
Just let me know.
Yep.
Last one, 473 Shorefield Drive. I know this was the cheaper unlicensed vehicle in the driveway. The vehicle right now is covered with a car tarp. So Matt is going to head up on that one, do a follow-up and check and see what's going on with that vehicle. We'll be able to report that next month. So on to the permits, I have 23-042, 256 Rustic Brook Road, and then permit that's a conditional use for storage of a camper. 23-043, 286 Briarwood Boulevard, that's a permit for a dumpster. 23-044 at 286 Briarwood Boulevard, that is a permit for an addition. 23-045 at 280 Park Lake Drive, and that is a permit for a driveway. 23-046 at 7 Monroe Bay is a permit for a fence. And I'll have to say this. This is the most permits that I've ever done in a year.
Wow.
And it's still going. I have one new gotten received, we have a variance hearing and a permit for that work. So we may reach 50 or 51.
Jim, that permit for a fence on 7 Bungalow Bay, is that side or back, front, or what?
It was a side between the township and that property and a small picket in the front. So, and that's all I have for permits, and what we have next is a variance hearing for 416 North Bell Drive. Would you like to open?
Yeah, let's call that hearing to order. Is Kyla Cole here? Other than yourself, well, would you raise your right hand, and anybody else who has something to say about this for council, raise your right hand and swear or affirm you'll tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay. You don't need to be sworn, Jim, but I'll ask you, what is this application asking for by way of variances?
You want to go ahead?
No, you go.
You'll get to talk.
She's wanting to put in a carport attached to the house, and it's going to have a driveway, the port area and stuff. So at the bottom of your report, I listed the two things that we need to consider as 404.3E as the minimum side yard setback. The carport is going to be a total of about 6 inches off of the property. And the lots are really small down there, so it's 40 foot. And she's got enough room to just get a carport big enough to put a car under. So that's that part of it. And then the driveway setback is 314E. And that also is a requirement of being 2 foot off the line, which it currently isn't. It's right up to the property line. So, but then we should cover that in this variance because she's going to go ahead with the concrete.
I have 2 questions. Is this carport, it's not enclosed, it's just basically a roof?
As of right now, it's like, you want to explain on that stages?
Well, I carry on my roof line, and so it'll definitely be roofed, and then for now, I was gonna leave it all open. Depending on how much snow still gets in there, considering possibly closing it in within a year if it doesn't allow for enough protection the way it is. So possibly closing it in, depending on how much protection it shows this winter.
And for council's benefit, on the driveway, there's an existing driveway there?
It's gravel.
Is it right on the line as you're asking for here
Yeah.
so you're not asking to expand the driveway, just to pave the existing driveway?
Yeah, and there's railroad ties right now, and the carport would go on the inside and my side of it. And the property line is actually in the neighbor's yard. So I'm actually staying within my existing driveway. And, I mean, so yeah, I'm not expanding the driveway at all.
Does council have any questions?
Your
Mayor?
property line is in the neighbor's yard?
It's just on the.
Not much, not much, just, but,
So it's for-
yeah, I was glad it was in their yard and not mine.
The railroad ties you described, is that your railroad ties or the neighbor's railroad ties?
I think they're mine because they line the driveway. And there's a fence, that's existing, that's on my side also, and for now, it's only like, 4-foot fence or something. So that'll stay for the moment, as far as I know, like the way the builder was gonna do it, the post will be on the inside of the fence line. So the gates that I have currently, they'll go away, and then the carport will just be there.
And this fence you're describing, is that yours or the neighbor's?
It's mine.
So you've mentioned a lot of this at the present time. Do you have plans in the future to enclose that?
Like I said, I mean, depending on how much snow still gets in there between the houses, because this is between, it's 2 lots, between myself and the neighbor's house. So depending on how much shelter that covers for my car, I mean, if snow still gets in there and piles up, then I probably will try to close it in. With doors on each end and on the side.
So you're asking for permission to do that too with this application,
Yeah,
in addition to the carport and the driveway?
I'm hoping to leave it all open, so it won't have to be all closed in. It's gonna be the full length, like, of the house, so it's just continuing the roof line. So it should look very nice and cohesive, just carrying the roof line out and just having a covered carport. But depending on how much snow gets in there, I'm a single person, so like, uncovering a car every morning is not fun, you know?
And it's an empty lot on the other side of the,
No, there's a house next door.
How many feet is that house from where this carport's gonna be? That's a tight area.
It is a tight area, it's,
From the end of the carport to John's house, how many feet's gonna be in between those two structures?
between the two.
Yeah,
What was that?
Was it like 7 or 10 feet away?
I forget,
It's not on the survey, but I can look it up.
his house is not on, yeah,
No, they just put
I'm not sure how many feet are in between, yeah.
Did letters go out to the adjacent properties?
Yes.
Yeah, I've talked to them several times and, they were, actually, John was outside when Kurt Smolinski came to look at it the first time, and he was fine, and Chris I talked to regularly, and she's fine with it. Yeah, she's like, I don't care, whatever you wanna do.
Yeah, it's,
Are any of the neighbors here? No.
Not that I recognize,
no.
Send in emails,
yeah.
Well, they were notified.
right?
yeah, the distance between the carport is only like 5 feet, 5 or 6 feet. Maybe. I mean, that's the best I can do for my overhead.
Yeah.
But-
Is
Yeah,
there any-
and I spoke with the neighbor and he said, I don't care what she does.
you gonna put a gutter on the edge of it?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a gutter on the whole length of it, and then the drainage will come tie back to where the gutter drains now.
You're talking about the neighbor on the south side of this lot, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Is there anybody else here who has anything to say to council about this application? Any other questions? Anything else you'd like to say?
No, I love the pool.
Um,
You're not the only one, I guess.
I guess I have more questions.
Okay,
I don't know how I feel about the enclosed, I'm sorry, because that's really close to John's house. It could be a fire hazard either way. Can we put stipulations on this about it being open? It would be okay, but not closed.
well, I think you should
It's a
have
really, really
three
tight
votes.
area.
Yeah, one on the carport, one on enclosing it, and one on the driveway.
Okay.
That way it'll be clear. Anything else from the council? Okay. This is an application for, all of these variances are what we call size variances or distance variances. She's not asking it to change the use of the house to something else. So the standard for this would be whether the situation creates an unnecessary hardship for the owner. And the Supreme Court of Ohio spelled out a list of factors which you're supposed to consider. No one of these is determinative, they're just what you should keep in mind. And number one is, will the property yield a reasonable return without a variance? Number two, is it substantial, like large in distance, large in area? Three, will the essential character of the neighborhood be substantially altered? Or will other adjoining properties suffer a substantial detriment by granting this variance? Four, will it affect adversely the delivery of governmental services? Five, did the owner purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning requirements? Six, can it be solved by some other means than granting variances? Seven, will the granting of the variances preserve the spirit and intent of the zoning requirements with substantial justice served by granting the variance? So with those factors in mind, Unless there are any further comments from anybody, questions, I think we should call for a vote.
On all three individually?
Yes. So I'm going to list them individually and ask for a roll call vote. And a vote of yes would be to allow the variance. A vote of no would be to deny it. And the first item would be variance of the minimum side yard depth in order to install the carport. Could somebody call the roll?
But, all right, let me understand. So we're just talking about carport.
Correct. Which is going to be a difference from the requirement for setback.
I vote yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Tabitha,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
The number two would be a variance allowing for enclosure of that carport if the owner desires.
Bud,
No.
Barb,
No.
Alan,
Yes.
Tabitha,
No.
Keith,
No.
Ken,
No.
Okay, so that application, that item fails. And the last is a variance in driveway setback to allow concrete to replace the existing driveway.
Bud,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Tabitha,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Okay, the zoning inspector will issue a letter to you showing this decision, and you can proceed from that.
Can she put something non-permanent up there in the winter, like curtain, a tarp or canvas or something?
Have some kind of barrier, like a snow fence?
Or like, oh, that, yeah, a tarp or something, if you're saying that for winter on the side, and that would be allowed, you're saying?
Well, I think it
It's
would.
temporary.
Would have to be temporary, have to
I'd
be
be
just
okay with
seasonal.
that.
Yeah, you can get one of those roll up.
Okay, yeah, roll up door or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the zoning that would prohibit that. It
Okay.
could be all right.
That's
You-
good. Thank you.
Jim? As long as it comes down in the spring.
Okay.
Okay, that concludes the hearing on this application.
And that's all I have.
Alan, I have one question. I looked up that 277 Rustic Brook one, and the auditor has it appraised something different. So do you want that information?
Sure, it's 227 Rustic Road.
227?
Right.
Okay, make sure I have it right. Yeah, 227. The auditor has it at 115,950.
Interesting. That must be from the recent appraisal. 115,900. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anything else for zoning? We'll do community relations. Canvas is back, all better.
Finally. I don't think I was better until about a week ago. I've not been that ill in a really, really long time.
Well, we're glad you got that.
The first thing I want to do is thank Bud and Mark Crossy for fixing the owl last month, so it will be ready for this month. I wasn't here. I guess it was a fiasco, but I couldn't say that I could have fixed it had I been here, so I can't take any credit whatsoever. So I want to say thank you to them, because without them, it wouldn't have been done. I also need to thank everybody who helped me for the fall festival. And I'm not going to bore everybody with the list of the long list of all the amazing people in this village that helped me out with our September festivities. But I did send them all individual thank yous. And so they know who they are. And thank you again. I did try to get something together for Halloween for people to be on the lakefront. Those of us who live across the bridge, we don't see any trick-or-treaters, but it was cold and it was wet and it was snowy and it failed and nobody wanted to do it once the weather was nasty. So we'll revisit that next year, see if it works out. It wasn't a party. It wasn't an event. It was just having people at the lakefront along beachside, so they could pass out their candy and they can enjoy in the festivities. And I didn't know until this year
I think it's
that we
good
had a
idea.
horse. I've sat in my driveway and passed out candy to maybe, I counted, what did we count? 15 kids this year?
Really?
Yeah, I got a whole whopping 15.
Yeah, down my way, there's nothing either, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of summer.
And since
We had, I think I had 7.
I got over 100.
No,
They would come down the
This
top
street
of
right before
Bass
this,
Bay,
right?
and they'd walk across Rockridge, and they'd
Yeah.
go to the bottom part of the road.
we had maybe 15
We used to have.
this year.
Don't it?
Yeah.
It used to have over 100, don't anymore.
Lilo
Yeah.
doesn't get much either. We get about the
Yeah.
same. So I think they stop at Craig.
I think they stop at
Yeah,
Craggy
we
Creek.
would pass them out.
Yeah.
I've been on that street during Halloween.
What are you passing out for treats?
Reese cups, the good stuff.
Yeah.
So, just so the record's clear on this, anybody that on Halloween wants to go down by the Point Park or by Beachside or anywhere, there's no law that says you can't do that. I know that my street when, years ago, everybody lived in all the houses, now it's mostly summer houses, and there's very little action on my street, though a lot of people walk by on Beachside, so I know they're there. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be an organized thing. There's no law that says if you feel like going down there and passing out candy, you can do it.
Yeah, I thought it was a good idea. I would participate. Yeah,
I
we
was
don't get
thinking
anyone
about
on
going down
New
there,
Lord.
but it was too windy.
It was
Yeah.
windy, it was cold, it started to snow. I didn't want to be there in that condition of weather. If it had been a little warmer, I might have packed up my candy and went down to the park, but nope, that's okay. I don't like to be cold. The last thing on my list for today, I am planning for Breakfast with Santa. The date is not decided yet. It's either going to be December 9th or December 16th. It all depends on my actual coverage at work for my office. One of my girls gave their 2-week notice, so I don't have anybody to work Saturdays. So that means tag, I'm it. Unless we get somebody hired or I convince her to come in and work for me so I can be here at the village. Because Sundays just don't work even though it's my off day. Breakfast with Santa would compete with church and so we have to do a Saturday. So I'm working on that. So it'll be one of those 2 days. Hopefully I have the coverage. And then Ken is also going to help me with Breakfast with Santa. And I still have to get in touch with Santa Claus as well to make sure that he's available on one of those days.
It's a pizza with Santa some evening.
We could, but Breakfast with Santa is such a good thing.
How late do you work on Saturday?
4 o'clock. We're open 9 to 4 on Saturdays. So, well, I'm going to make it work. Ken, you had talked about helping out with getting the donation for
Yep.
the food. Because I don't have a date set, could you just contact
I'll get the
them
ball rolling.
and tell them the 9th? Because that way, if it's the 9th, we have it. And if it's not the 9th, we can keep it good until the next week because it comes frozen already, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be, if you would do that, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. That's all I have this month. I rambled more than I expected. Sorry.
Well, that's okay. You weren't here last month to talk. I told them you were gonna thank everybody. I knew it. I tried to thank some, but I know you had a ton of help and it was a great job all the way around, you and Matt. Matt's food was delicious as always, so you guys worked hard. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ken, good macaroni.
I just kind of stood around.
No, you made macaroni and cheese. So anyway, you guys did a good job. That's a nice party. Okay, now we'll go to building and utility. Barb, let me ask you something before you start. I know you might say this. Is the power on Point Park? Did they get it done?
The power was connected, but then I contacted them and did the seasonal shut off.
Yes, the answer is no.
So we might get billed for maybe a month or something. So, but yeah, I did contact them to do a seasonal shut off for that. So
When are they doing the seasonal shut off?
it should be done already.
Should be done already.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the park is,
That's funny.
the park doesn't, yeah.
And for them to turn it on in the spring is more affordable to us than paying for the meter fee all winter
I
long.
was told that there was no fee to have it turned back on.
Oh,
It's a-
excellent.
$15 reconnection fee.
Yeah, I mean,
So
so,
it's not,
Which is half of what a meter fee is for 1 month.
right, so,
So no matter how many times, for some odd reason, we need power there, say twice in the winter, that won't happen, but they would just charge $50.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll turn it back on before next.
Well, I'll contact them. I'll contact them in the spring and tell them to turn it back on.
Then
So,
hopefully they'll do it in the spring.
I mean, I called them on a Monday and they had it shut off on Wednesday.
Oh, okay, well,
Last
that's
Monday I
good.
called them and they had it shut off on
So
Wednesday.
you got a different department maybe you're talking to.
I contacted the office right up on Lake Road in Medina, and then I heard back from the foreman that's in charge, Fred Colony, and he gave me the contact information. He said that I didn't have, not to contact them directly. Figured they were the ones doing it,
Well, good,
so.
good job.
So, yeah, that's already been taken care of, which it was on my list here, so. The election, it went well, but, Gary, we need to remember, because they still contacted Bud to deliver the equipment. I happened to be here, so I was here on the day that they delivered it. But when they came to pick it back up, they called Bud again. The poll workers, the people that came in and set everything up, connected it, they contacted me, said 12:30, but they were here at like 11:45. So I was here when, but I just happened to be driving by and saw that those guys were here waiting to unload everything. So I don't know if there was two different companies to contact for that.
There is.
So,
Two different entities. They try to create a scheduling buffer. But invariably, there's some kind of snafu that they don't anticipate, and sometimes there are no snafus.
yeah, there was a snafu. They delivered two pieces of our equipment to some other church somewhere else. So we had to wait for it to get here, so. But, so when we do that, I don't know in the future for the springtime election. So, but yeah, it went well. And we did this, Kelly, so. Let's see, the building, I came in today, I cleaned the building, cleaned it up after all the election stuff, put everything back together. I'm gonna go purchase some cleaning supplies for the building. So how does that, what do I do now, because I have no money?
Wait till January.
So then we can't use the men's room because I need a toilet brush.
Just tell me how much you need to appropriate.
What's that?
How much do you need to appropriate?
Well, I also wanted to,
Oh, boy.
maybe we
tell
can get money
Mama.
from Ken.
Tell them
No,
how much.
I'm looking for more money
Just tell
myself.
Well, maybe about $100, because I would like to get some Christmas lights to put on the building as well.
Okay, $100 will cover it all.
Lights are expensive, are you sure?
Yeah, $100 ain't gonna cut that.
Yeah, well, I need 150 feet of lights, so, can Ken loan me $200
Do we have that set
from
up?
Parks?
I'd second that motion.
Here, you can find $200 in it.
I might be able to find lights for you donated.
I might be able to donate some lights.
Some like LED lights, maybe?
I don't know if they're LED.
I'm not sure. I can tell you, I could let you
Because
know.
LEDs, because it's 75 feet along the line here on each side of the building. So I think those, usually a string of lights is about 25 feet. And you can usually only do two.
I bought these rolls of lights for my last house. I've never used them. And I want to put them on my house, but I have like 8 of these big rolls of lights.
Wow, that would be
So,
fabulous.
I mean.
Can I change my vote to no from
I
before?
can find out. I mean, I can get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, that's nice.
But
yes, that's.
they're white. They're not colored.
Oh, they're white?
Yeah.
Do you care what color lights are in the building? It just.
It's racist now.
What's that?
White lights are racist now.
But Santa Hardesty has willingly given up some of his budgets to. So you know,
Oh,
Save a tree and put up some lights?
Or maybe you can use them somewhere else. Yeah, but you've got it.
Okay, yeah.
Why don't be okay? And if you
I
gotta
think,
mix
I
some
think
color
those
in,
colors
do
are
it.
pretty.
What's that?
Mix them. If you have to mix some color in with the white, that's okay too, that looks all right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because that's what I was gonna get, those long, sort of long strings.
They're like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the LEDs, because you can hook up a lot of those, so.
I mean, they're all, I only got them a couple years ago, so I imagine
They're
there's
so
there
good.
gotta be LEDs.
Okay,
Well, I never can use them. but-
maybe I'll swing by, not gonna go, okay. So, can we just get money from somebody else just in case?
They just gave it to you.
Oh, maybe 200,
200?
maybe, yeah, because I need a timer and,
I donated
Clips.
it to you from zoning.
okay, I need the clips, the gutter clips, toilet brush.
You're good.
Come see me, I've got your gutter clips.
Okay, well, all right. I was gonna keep it secret and just surprise everybody and light up the building, and but look at this,
Space
the
shuttle.
donations are pouring in. What's
You
that?
have to find it, so give me a day or two.
Okay, all right, hot diggity. Okay, well then, thank you for the donation fund. So then maybe I should hold off on recharging the fire extinguishers too? That's due.
No, if they're due, I take care of it. Safety issue.
Yeah, don't put it off. It's,
Okay, well, might need another $50.
Take it out of your safety budget.
How about if I bring it up to 3?
that's fine.
Thank you.
Safety can cover the fires.
Instead of having them come out, I'll just take them up to Strongsville, North Royalton, because they charge.
I thought the fire department did that as part of their. normal-
Yeah, you got a new chief now, maybe he'll do it.
I'll take them over there first, or have them come here, we'll see, I'll contact him. All right, when they did do the connection, down at Point Park, they did remove the light on that pole, Tamitha.
Oh, okay.
And I had asked them not to, but they did anyways, so I wasn't gonna argue the point. So.
Do you feel like it's too dark there now without it?
I was gonna ask Carhay, but he zipped out, so
I hadn't noticed the light was gone.
you did or did not?
Did not. I think it's
I
because
didn't
it's
know
so
if you
well
were
lit at the
observing.
street
It is,
level.
it is darker back in that corner, and actually two of the lights close to the bocce court are also burned out. And I haven't reported those to be repaired, which they will just replace it with another, probably high-pressure sodium floodlight, because we don't have another $10,000 or more to do the LED, mast arms, so, but that has been removed, so it should be darker down there. I
Okay.
don't know if it worked having the movie up at the Bungalow Bay or not.
It was a nice location. It was a lot smaller, so we were kind of more on top of each other, but it was a nice location. And I didn't get any complaints from any of the neighbors about noise or anything like that, so.
So maybe we can give it a try next year, or just.
No power up there though.
There's no power up there. I did have to
Unit.
harass a neighbor for power, but they were very generous neighbors.
Manager's pretty generous.
They're very generous, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see, fire extinguisher, what were you looking at there, Alan? I think it said November, December.
December's the punch on this one. You know, my company, they come out and service it automatically. You know, Brad Winters used to do it when he was involved, when they were doing other stuff, so.
I'll contact Kavanaugh and see if he'll do it.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, I can take them up there, they can come
Yeah,
down
they used to
here
just come out.
when they're on their shift. Okay, so that'll save us some money too then. Gary knows that. I did buy locks, to put on the, breaker boxes down at Point Park as well. And they're similar to the one that's on the one at the beach, so I'm gonna, get the combination, so it's the same combination for all the locks. And I did give you guys the combination, right, last week? Didn't
I don't have the
You weren't here?
combination. I wasn't here, so
Okay, all right,
just email that to me or send a
Yeah, you can
message.
Email it to me too.
okay, all right. And then Mr. Bill was jolly on the spot. We had winds on election day, and when I came up here in the morning, I noticed that a piece of siding came off the building again. And Bill came up to vote, and the first thing he did is call me to report that, and I was on it. So it has been fixed. So I think that's it.
Okay.
Barb will be whenever we did polar bear, we always had some issues with electric on polar bear day. And so maybe a week before, I'll start doing some double checks, make sure that.
According to Alan Horney, you guys should not have any problems up there now.
Well, last year you won a combination or something, that's when you called.
Well, there was no.
About dawn, wanting to know
I
about.
wasn't there for that part of the day.
But
But it's out on top of it.
yeah, we had the electrician, holy cow, it was a
Thompson.
Thompson Electric came out and took down the old equipment and everything that is down there now should be more than, according to Alan Horney, there should be more than enough electricity for you guys.
Does
For-
Mr. Horning have a combination?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so does,
And maybe,
I don't know about Maggie, but, Midland has it too.
Okay, that's good. Those are the ones that we did. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, now we'll go to, parks. Ken?
I have two items only. One, dock kayak launch has been stowed, pulled out, and tucked away for the winter. I want to thank some of our residents that helped out. Al Safco, John Sandora, Eric Rommel, and his friend Ben. Ben doesn't live here in Chippewa. I don't know his last name either. Good guy though. And the other item I have is our playground rehab project that I spoke about last month. Our inspector had a few recommendations, and one was to increase or replace the railroad ties going around it because they're rotted, and then have more gravel dumps. So I did some work on that. They recommended using these plastic playground border tiles to go along, and I passed it out to everybody here. Looks like it would be a lot better, it won't rot. The cost might even work out to be cheaper than the railroad ties. Those are expensive, actually, and removing them is quite expensive as well. But they're 12 inches long. They have a galvanized anchor spike, 10-year warranty. It's just, I believe that's the way to go. There's interlocking design. I'll pass them all out to everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. I also sent out the link.
So how many of them do you need?
We need 60 of them.
Does that count the section around the teeter-totters?
No.
Just the main?
I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you, because that was not on the radar.
12 inches gonna be high enough?
Yeah, 12 inches, check here.
Well, but I know, but how, is that two or three? Right, but
You figure railroad tie is about that, maybe a little bit bigger.
is that 8 inches? Rainbow
Yeah,
tie?
they're 8 inches.
So that's 16.
There's
Is it
of
2
them.
or 3 ties high? The one buried?
You're about, you're looking at about 12 inches.
Yeah, these
Total out of the
tiles are
ground.
standard use in playgrounds all over, so I don't have a problem with what to do.
Yeah, we need to keep in 5 inches of pea grab. So that's
Well,
what's,
that'd be it.
yeah, so that'll take care of it. Right now, there's 2 inches there, so we need 3 more inches. So I have it all broken down here. Well, what I wanted to do was use the PEP grant for the gravel, and that works out to be $1,000.
I have a question
just
about
under
gravel.
1,000.
The inspector's okay with the playground being gravel?
It's pea gravel. That's one of the things that
Yeah,
they
they allow
recommend.
that. They
Yeah,
don't
that's a
allow
thing.
grass, they allow grass.
Yeah. There's like that's one of the things you can use. You use wood chips, pea gravel, sand, the little rubber, the rubber tire things.
Okay, and so pea gravel is
Yeah,
fine?
that's its standard. So you fall,
Okay.
that's why you have the depth. That's why it's gotta be 5 inches. So if you fall, you're not gonna hurt yourself. So it's like soft, it gives.
I see in
Yeah, that's
this
what's there
report
now.
that they only recommended, but they didn't say you had to get some shade on your sliding boards so they aren't so hot. Like anybody ever cared about that in our lives, you know, so that means you don't have to run out.
Yep, hey, you sit down on one of those metal, slides
That's what it's
with
about.
shorts on, you're gonna get up really quick and you won't do it again, right?
So I don't think
That's a
we
hot
need to be
seat.
planting any trees by.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think we get a lot of, coverage there.
That was
We'll
just a
check it out.
recommendation. I know the one
Yep.
on the circle can't be in full sun.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're good there. So we're looking at, we need 24 tons of pea gravel. That comes out to just under $1,000, and that's our PEP grant is 1,000. So hopefully, I don't know the time frame on that, Gary. I don't know, how we look. I think it has to be in by December.
Right, would you put that down this year already? Or is this for next?
This is gonna be for this year.
For this year, okay, so you'll spend it this year already.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend it this year, and I wanna spend next year's too, because I'm gonna go on, there's actually more. That's just for the pea gravel. So this turned out to be a bigger project than I thought, more expensive, but I mean, it all makes sense. But you have so then the border piece, if you look at $33.50 each times 60 would be $2,010. And that I wanted to take from parks. I don't know what I have. I know I had a few projects that fell through that we didn't end up using. One of them was the beach structure. So there's 2,000 there. So I wanted to kind of move that around. And to hire somebody to remove the old border and install the new one, you're looking at $3,500, which is actually a really good price. You know, it's going to involve a dumpster, some equipment. He's going to compact the border area, you know, pressure down so it sticks there, install everything, and spread the gravel. So I think it's a great value. And somebody we used before, Todd Harris. So I look at it works out to, if we back away the beach structure money that we're not going to use, that was 2,000. I don't know what else was in there in parks that we didn't. I know there are a few projects that.
Yeah, you've got it here. Right, you had 2,000 for the beach pavilion, and actually that took all those monies, that cleaned it out. You were a little bit short, but I was gonna draw out of another account in parks.
They didn't do it.
I know, that's why I say he's got 2,000, you're not gonna use it for the pavilion, you've got actually $1,810 you can use.
Okay.
The pavilion was gonna be 2,000, you were gonna be overdrawn, so I was gonna draw the monies from another account in the parks. So bottom line, there's $1,810 left in that park endowment fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got and there's nothing, everything else is tapped out for the year.
No, actually, the rest years, you've got close to $12,000.
God, don't tell them that.
All right, well, let's do it.
Because you need to.
And you need lights, right?
Well, you need to do the teeter-totter area too.
Okay.
Might as well do it all.
Yeah, you might as well do it all while
All
you're
right,
at it.
I'll check that out. I want to encumber some money for that. Now, what about the PEP grant? Because I just minus that, or we'll pay it back with that, or how does that?
No, what I need to be able to move forward with that PEP grant is I need an actual bid for that.
I gave you the bid there. I don't know. That's what he said to me today. It was is that okay?
I need it in writing from the contractor.
Yeah, well, it was an email.
Oh, okay, that'll work. And you gave that to me?
Yeah, it's in there. It's an email.
Okay, well, as long as I got it, and that's good to get the PEP grant going.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
he's
you'll
got his
use-
address there and everything. He's set up with us.
But you have to use the money this year.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll, but to get the ball rolling here, I would encumber the, everything minus that $1,000 from the grant.
So draw the rest out of your remaining monies.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once you draw that, if you draw the full 12,000, that's it for the year.
Okay, What if so I wouldn't be able to reassign, if you don't use it, I couldn't
If you don't
reassign
use
it?
it, it rolls over into next year.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Was that a hard number or an exact number for the demo work? 3,500?
Yeah, that's what he quoted me.
What's he charging hourly?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but he's a fair guy. I did not give him multiple quotes because he's done work for us in the past.
Does that include the dumpster and spreading
Yeah.
gravel too?
He said most of the cost was that. It was the dumpster and I thought, well, maybe we could just find it elsewhere to put the railroad ties, but you know, they're.
The community bonfire.
Yeah, I know. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Oh, dear.
Not burning creosote.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he didn't give me, I told him give me a loose quote, so there might be some room there possibly. I'll speak with him on that. He would have given me a much better price. He actually gave me a quote to do all the parks. Everywhere, it was like 13 grand. So that's, you know, maybe we could look at that. If I encumber all of it, that'll give me some room and I could have him do the other parks as well that need done. I just didn't, you know, I didn't have that much money, so I just said, just this one here, because this was the one that was on the radar.
You've got 13,000, but what I would like are full quotes for whatever it is you're gonna have.
Yep, so 13,000?
Yep, and that clears you out for the year,
Okay.
okay?
I'd like to encumber $13,000 for the playground rehab project throughout the village.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now, is that can hurt anything, putting it down this time of year? Winter coming and
Not according to
everything?
Todd. He said he wants to get it done before winter, but I don't think he's envisioning all of the work, but we'll see what happens. I'll talk to him. If it rolls over, it rolls over to springtime, right? I mean,
Say again now?
now, if not all of it is, say he quotes 2 jobs, the one up here definitely, and then another one, you know, we'll get a solid quote from him. And then, but he can't get to the other ones, so they're open jobs, not finished and not paid for. Would it roll over to springtime?
You don't lose it.
Okay, got
That's
it.
why it'll carry over.
Okay,
Now, in regards to Mr. Harris,
yes,
because of a certain reporting situation that I have there, I have to get a hard number quote from you. Is this gonna be like you did the first job with him, a quote to do the whole job?
this particular job, yes.
One flat fee?
Yes, but it might change, but I'll be in contact with you like this week.
Yeah, because I need to know that for reporting purposes.
Okay,
Okay. So I need to know that hard number, that firm quote for the, you know, just first part or all the parks, whatever.
yeah,
Whatever you plan to do this year, put it that
okay, I'll get with him
way. Okay.
and we'll figure it out, yeah. That's it. That's all I got. It's not much this time of year.
Well, it took you a while, so it must have been something.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for parks? Not, we'll go to streets.
Okay, Briarwood Boulevard has been taken care of, and Garvin also have been taken care of. They felt that it's getting a little bit too cold to finish patching, so they'll be finishing that first thing when the asphalt plants open up in the spring. I'm not real happy about that, but if you look at it in the good way, maybe some snow might fill in some of the small potholes, because there's not really any big ones, and that gives us one more year on the new repairs that are being done on the road. So we should be in pretty nice shape for the coming spring and summer of next year. Other than that, like I said, Briarwood Boulevard's done, Garmin's done, and there's a couple other patches that were needed that were taken care of. That's where we're at.
Okay.
You want an ordinance here, if you want,
For what?
for building materials, road materials in the town.
Oh, okay,
Can do that now?
yeah.
Okay, I have an ordinance prepared, which authorizes the agreement. Every year we do this for purchase of road materials from the county, including salt. They were a little late getting the contract out to us. We were waiting for it, but it's on the way. And this ordinance is necessary so that you can use it to buy materials. First reading, ordinance number 888-23. An ordinance approving an agreement for purchase of road materials from the Medina County Commissioners for the village in 2024 pursuant to ORC section 307.15 and declaring the same an emergency. That's the first reading. Is there a motion to waive the second and
So
third reading?
move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And need the motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That would be emergency. We need road salt for 3 readings.
I think you might. You never know.
Okay.
Oh, and the road project 9 is in the works for being applied for, so.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we'll go right over to Law Director Allen.
Okay,
You were starting out anyway.
right. I'll give you this. Oh, let's see. I've got one case in court now. And it's a case in which November 20th, which is next Monday, will be in court for a change of plea hearing, and the defendant will be convicted of persistent disorderly conduct. That's it in court. You asked for a map of village properties, and I've got one. It's a little hard to read just by itself, but it shows you what all the village owns. And then, congratulations on passing your road levy. You have 2 voted levies, and they're not up for renewal until 2027.
And a nice public thank you to the people of the village for passing our roads levies that.
Yeah, they passed it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a real good turnout in the percentage of that, so evidently we're in the right direction and makes it nice for everybody. Thank you.
Starting next year, the minimum for competitive bidding by advertisement has been raised to $75,000. So
See that, but
you can always advertise. You can always advertise for bids, but it's not required until the project is $75,000 or more. And they were smart this year with this bill. They built in a 3.5%, I think, increase every year to that amount to account for inflation. And
3.5%.
I think it was, I'd have to look at it. It's something like that, 3 to 4. But it means every year it'll go up, which is smart considering how everything else is going up.
Yeah.
I need to read the financial policies. We need to go over those.
Okay.
So I have to work on that till next meeting. And beyond that, that's all I've got.
you got a letter about the lots on Garmin. What about that?
I did. I thought did I send that out to council? I think I did. I sent it to Jim and Bud. We have a letter from Dennis and Pamela Moan, 256 Rustic Brook Road. They are interested in buying from the village lot 297, 97, and 298. And if you look at this little map, look at Lake Road and Garmin. Those are the 2 orange-colored lots on the southwest corner of that intersection. And they, to sell it to anybody, you'd have to put it up for public bids, but they just sent a letter stating they were interested.
And it does have to go for public bid.
Yeah. You can't sell real estate without public bid.
Yeah, that's the only way we sell.
Right. So, that's all I have to report on, I think.
So what happens
Anything else?
next? I mean,
Well, if council wants to sell these lots, so you need to take a look at them, figure what you'd want to have as a minimum bid, if any, and then decide to go ahead. And you have to, at the sale, I mean, now you could do it by electronically, by asking for bids by a certain date. You could do it at a public meeting. We've done that before. And you,
so the first step would be getting them appraised.
well, we have the auditor's appraisal. I don't have it with me, but it's lots 297 and 298 in the village.
Well, we had a motion last month to make them non-buildable.
Yeah.
My understanding, Counselor,
Right, I remember that.
You would then have to go back and change the deed.
Well, what I have to do is in the ad, the bids, we put in that there'll be a requirement that they're non-buildable and maintained as vacant land. And then if somebody buys them, I put the restriction in the deed to them.
Just as if somebody,
So it doesn't require any legal prep work prior to.
Well, the only thing that legally you have to do is put in the ad for bids. So everybody knows they're getting it with that limitation.
Okay.
And that's public. Then making it legal and lasting would be putting it in the deed.
Okay.
so do we need to get an appraiser, or are you got the value?
Well, there's a value, I don't have it in front of me, but we can look up the county's appraised value.
And then do what?
If they're non-buildable, you should probably discount it for that. But that's the auditor's value, it's not like a market analysis, which we could get an appraiser or. Sure.
I've had that discussion, Mayor.
What?
I've had that discussion, so I guess all I require is council approval to move forward with that process and get that done. Sure, budget. I don't think we need more.
Do you want to get an appraisal on the lots?
Because I know someone we could ask.
I think it's
Same person I told you.
probably,
I think I know that person.
probably.
We probably.
I've used him.
Yeah, he probably likes us better, just saying.
This is as long as we do it.
We're talking about Tom Clarkson, who's a village resident
Who has done this before?
he's a professional appraiser. I've even used him in court cases.
He works for the auditor, he's ready for the auditor.
Oh, does
Yeah,
he?
he's still on the team, just had a meeting.
Well, maybe we should just look up his value then on the internet at the auditor's website.
I can't find it because there's no address. It has, for me to look located, it has to have an address. You
We've
might
got-
know how to do it.
Permanent parcel numbers.
But is there the actual, okay, I can look at that.
Yeah, you want to jot these down?
Yeah.
Or let me just tell you.
Wait, I have to write it down. You can't tell me anything.
Right.
The,
I have the auditor's
he's got the site up.
What's the appraisal?
I don't know.
He needs
I need the
the.
parcel.
he needs
Oh,
the
I'm
parcel
sorry.
number.
Okay, lot 297, the parcel, pardon?
04828A
02009
02009.
and then
Right.
010.
He needs to do the one.
The last one, the second lot is 010. Same numbers, 010, 009 and 010. And if they're not listed in the village's name, let me know right away.
They are.
They are. Full value 290. Land value 230.
Mine's up here.
Okay. Yeah, well,
The loans probably no.
they might.
830 is the land value of the estate.
What?
830.
For each? Yeah, that's because they're basically not buildable without serious utility issues.
Where these would have been properties you probably challenged the auditor.
Those were some of the ones that I reduced. 830 each.
Or maybe, Bud can report back to us in December what valuations, how we get, want to approach this, project and move on for it.
I'll do that.
So where are we with that?
So I'll contact Solomon.
Okay.
I've got a question because I missed last month. Why are we making them unbuildable and limiting the value of them?
Well, the current value is $830 per lot.
To the auditor, but
The-
to
man, the
someone
reason- I gotta
bidding on
reduce
it
to that.
would probably feel differently.
Pardon?
To the auditor, yes, because you got it reduced, but somebody
Right.
bidding on it might feel differently.
They're unbuildable because they are marshy.
Yeah, I understand there's no
We
water
have
and
more
sewer.
buildings in the village than green space. And it's already been a well taken care of green space by Mr. Mon, so we're just trying to keep it that way.
There's no utilities going to it, no water.
I don't think it's got water and
A
sewer.
water hookup is.
You need like a
over
lift
10 grand.
station or, you know,
Okay.
something. And also, each lot, neither lot is buildable by itself.
They'd have to be
Too
purchased
small.
together.
Right, not enough frontage, not enough area.
I think 40 by 80.
They're a little bit bigger than
40
that.
by 130.
Right. They're narrow.
Each one?
45 by 130, or by 100.
Regular.
You want to see a picture?
No, I didn't.
45 by 130.
Sam says listed as new business in the meeting notes.
See what it looks like.
I missed that, I think, when I read
That's
through
what it
them.
looks like.
I know, I drive past it every day. I live around the corner.
Right, right. Okay, let me know.
It's in the minutes, like in the last.
The
under
last
new
paragraph.
business,
Okay.
Where they voted to make them non-buildable. Somebody started something about it, it wasn't Pam and Dennis, somebody else. Something. Whatever. Anything. Okay, got anything else?
I don't.
Have one, Alan. on,
Yeah.
I don't know if you initiated or the sheriff does, but, end of the year, new sheriff's contract. Maybe see what Sheriff Price or whoever would come forward with.
Was that brought up last month?
And I was bringing it up this month as well.
Okay.
You're gonna bring it up
I had it as an item, yes.
for tonight?
Yes.
I think
Well, he's got it for an item tonight.
Well, I'll defer to him.
It's already brought up.
I did an ordinance. I wrote up an ordinance, didn't I, Gary?
No, sir.
Sent it to you? No?
You did for Burbank?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right, not for Chip.
She's
Right.
got so many villages yet, weren't you?
Not really. I mean, usually they bring, you gotta be sure.
It sounds like you better write up one for us the next one.
No problem.
December, if we're going to give any incremental increase, we usually follow that.
We had some kind of discussion about it because we were short. But I remember we had like a general discussion about the rate of pay and seeing an inducement or lack of. They have with their.
Yeah, and you gave him the raise last year.
We did give a raise. Well, the comment was when we were, I guess I'm paraphrasing, but because we were short of hours, obviously Cornelius is a big chunk of that. There are other macro issues on there. The sheriffs are on a 12-hour shift. So our deputies work either before or after a shift. And trying to work after a 12-hour shift, they're usually pretty burnt out. So they're having to come in on their off days. But this is actually an off day for our days. The other is, we're in the low $30, $31 range for our fee shares. I thought we were parallel or pretty close, and then I heard that they're in the $35 or $36 fee range. So if they get a project that pays them, somebody gives them a contract for a time and a half pay, they're making $50 an hour. So they're gonna go to that as opposed to our project.
I thought you guys raised them to 33 an hour last year.
Well, when you do 31, then plus up for overroads and the other benefits, you got an hourly rate and you have a plus up rate on that, and that's usually 20% of the value ballpark. So we're at maybe, to us, it's $37 an hour, even though we're paying them $31. I'm just giving you approximation. So there are some things we're getting in the way, but I think with our talk with Captain Ross, and as Hardy was saying, their guys are covering, they're looking for another deputy to come on board, as we have had in the past. So if we have 4 deputies in here, we do pretty well. Example, I listened to the Glory Glenn conference, their deputy worked 12 hours. We're doing pretty well. So they like us, they're trying to do everything we can. Cornelius is a special situation because you don't want to replace him if he's coming back, but he's pretty bad off. And he's also a 22, 23-year veteran of the department, so he could go disability, retire. I mean, there's other avenues that haven't played out here. But Jorge felt that through the 80 hours a month takes us into March, April period, they're going to be in pretty good shape, maybe some time to work forward. If that answers your question. But I think that's what the conversation. Yeah.
You got anything else?
On Gloria Glenn's, this is a long-term thought, but they were wondering if you had any interest in a joint police service contract with them, which would allow the deputies more hours, and they could work here and then work there, and be paid by each village for the hours they do. So they were wondering if there was any interest in a joint services contract.
They got any money?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay. Well,
But as you heard,
you guys might want to think about that.
Well, think about
Think
it.
through all of that. I'm not confident in their ability to pay.
Oh, they can pay. They have a levy on it.
Okay. And then the other is, are we paying for their safety services? So I'd have to talk that.
Well, they pay for their own under service. You'd pay for your service. So you just maybe give more flexibility to the deputies.
Well, that's a contractual issue.
Right.
Between us and Gloria Glenn's and us.
Right. I'm not arguing one way or another. I'm just bringing it up since they did.
I could broach the issue with Captain Ross and Chief Rice and see, they're a big part of this.
Right.
I don't have enough information to say yes on anything.
No, I'm not asking. I'm just.
So we'd have to explore that.
Just
And what
know-
benefit would be for us and for them. You know which deputy serves them?
No, but we can find out for sure. I don't.
What benefits would we get over and above what we do now?
I think of none. They would get benefits, we would not.
If we'd have a call and the sheriff was over patrolling Gloria Glenn's, they'd be over here in 2 minutes.
You're correct there.
Depending on what kind of call you have now, you could have somebody here in 2 minutes, whether our guys were out or
Yeah,
not.
but you'd have another 50 hours of sort of close by coverage. That comes to mind for me.
Yeah, but remember, our deputies can write tickets against our Chippewa Lake ordinances. So our guys would have to be trained in Gloria Glenn's ordinances and vice versa. So there is a little bit of, I'm just talking about, of things that have to be coordinated to make that work.
At this point, the deputies in Gloria Glenn's don't write on local ordinances. They just write on the Ohio Revised Code.
Well, any deputy could do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, any deputy.
But, you know,
ORC, sure.
if Gloria Glenn's is paying, they'd be in Gloria Glenn's for those hours and Chippewa.
Okay, so something different, all that would have to be talked about.
Right.
Okay, Alan, you can look into that every first of the year. Okay, you have anything else?
No.
Gary?
Okay.
We've got a hand up here. Do you want
Oh, Mark. No, we're not starting our own police department, so you can put it on.
Back in the day, we're the ones that approached Briarwood to provide their police protection, and council next to that, Briarwood's council next to that. Basically the same reasons that you guys are talking about.
On another note, Chippewa on the Lake did contract with Briarwood for police protection.
Yeah. Different world.
Go ahead.
All right. This past Saturday, I distributed the October bank reconciliation showing everything in balance. Questions, comments, bank reconciliation? We have a motion approving the bank reconciliation for sign-off.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. This past Saturday, I distributed the appropriations report through October. Any questions on spending year to date through October?
Gotta be an error.
Gotta be in there. What's the matter?
Just, it's a zero. I've never spent all my money.
Yeah.
I spent it for you, I'm sorry.
May I have a motion approving council to sign off on the appropriations?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Got a nice new bar back there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I didn't spend it all for you. I take that back.
Everybody sign in tonight, I would ask that as well. If not, please use the clipboard and sign in. Finance Committee, we last met on November 1st. They authorized the fiscal officer to proceed to activate the intra-fi demand deposit ICS insured cash sweep account with our primary checking account at Westfield Bank, which will now earn a 4% annual yield interest rate. And on November the 8th, I sent out all the necessary documentation to Westfield Bank. So that's in the process of getting set up, if it's not set up already. Alan Robbins requested that I investigate a similar program offered by Citizens Bank, which I did investigate. They're currently earning 5.26% annual yield, insured through SIPC versus FDIC. I sent Citizens Bank 3 months worth of checking account statements for their analysis. I'm awaiting their response on the associated monthly transaction fees associated with their program. That would be for consideration in 2024. I did advise Westfield Bank about Citizens Bank offering the higher interest rates. And I did ask them to consider offering competitive rates at the start of the new year. Alan Michelson just indicated he's going to be reviewing the two policies generated by Bud and Alan for banking and investment policies to be incorporated into an ordinance. And I've also asked Alan to generate 2 documents, requested one by the treasurer of state for the village, and the second requested by our auditor. One has to do with the SIPC insurance, and the second one is with the ICS program. So I do need those 2 documents from Alan for audit purposes.
Will do.
Thank you. The next finance committee meeting will be taking place sometime after the first of the new year. Any questions or comments from council on any of these matters? Okay. Alan Michelson's contract expires December 31st this year. We need a new contract and ordinance at the December council meeting.
Do you suppose you could write that?
Yeah, I could possibly manage that.
Don't want to recuse yourself.
Yeah, right. You hire outside counsel then, okay.
Sheriff contract, we already mentioned, does expire at the end of this year. We need a new contract and ordinance at the December council meeting as well. We talked about we passed the ordinance for the road and bridge, so that's good. I'm sorry, for the spill and salt, so that's wrapped up. Next month, I'll be asking council for any changes to the 2024 appropriations. Here we go, okay?
Roads Department would like to increase it by 10%.
Per year. But you can ask again, that's all right. So earlier this year, I did distribute to all of council the 2024 budget and the appropriations for 2024 that we were estimating earlier this year. If anyone needs those copies, let me know, and I'll get copies to you once again. As always, I offer to meet with anyone on a one-on-one basis or as a group if you want to go over appropriations. But this year was the heaviest year on using appropriated monies. Part of that, of course, was because we got those endowment monies, which we never had before, at least not while I was there. And we also had ARPA monies. Now, those are the things that we're not getting again next year. So our spending definitely has to be in line with what monies we can afford to appropriate. So if anybody wants to go over their monies that might be available to them next year, or want to change or have ideas about how much they want to spend, I recommend that you get with me, you meet individually or as a group. Otherwise, what I gave you folks earlier this year, those will be the appropriations for 2024. So, no appropriations and monies with public are a little more difficult to work with than private. That's why I'm always willing to meet with anybody.
Did you want to talk to Leslie Burns about any of that? Should be starting in January, should be on Zoom.
Should be on the let's see. Okay. Should I mention that to her?
Well,
And I'll
she had
give
no
her a
something about the
copy.
budget.
Yeah, I'll give her copies of what I distributed, and if she wants to sit down with me, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably get hold of it.
Beg your pardon?
I will probably be in touch with you.
Bud will be moving to roads.
Okay.
Normally, I make those changes in January. Well, Leslie will be here in January, but we've got him kind of shadowing Keith right now because a lot of what we're doing with roads will continue on in the spring. So they're kind of both working on that right now.
Okay. So yes, I'll send Leslie so she's current on what I submitted for the village earlier this year. And then if she wants to meet with me, I'll be happy.
She should probably have questions when she sees that.
Sure. Yep. And I'm, again, open to meet with anybody, one-on-one or as a group. Any questions or comments about the 2024 budget and appropriations? Okay. Alan, I know you touched on some of this. The 14 notices on property taxes, valuations.
Those are all done and ready to go, but they can't be filed legally with the auditor until January 1st.
Okay, oh, great.
They will be filed, they're all done.
Excellent, thank you. Okay. As of the end of October, balance in the primary checking account, $253,577.32. Money market, $252,691.17. Star Ohio, $104,870.25. Total, $611,189.62. Any questions about balance of funds? Okay, that's all I have for tonight.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Okay, does anybody have any old business?
Yes, there's a NOPEC annual meeting, this coming Thursday, but I'll be attending your Zoom meeting.
Oh, thanks for going to that. Okay. Okay, we'll go to the audience. Mark? Kelly?
I have a question, on another group, we're on the Save the Lake team, they asked me to look in some ARPA stuff just in case, and I was thinking, since you still have until the end of the year to apply for ARPA funds, there's still a lot of ARPA money available, and you have to spend it by the end of 25. So my question is, because it has something to do with emergency and pandemic stuff, and I was wondering if there's any way that we could pay for the siren somehow, you can word things to make it, it has to do with, it's pandemic money, right? but it's for emergency and it has to do with, making sure your water is clean and, there's like a whole ton of categories of things. I just wanted maybe we could eke in something about the siren before the year's over. It's just a thought.
Well, on the ARPA, of course, we received our ARPA allocation in full.
Okay.
So there are
I didn't
no
know
monies
that
we can draw from.
I didn't realize it was, because
Yeah,
it's,
it's a
you
set
can still,
amount.
we can still apply for different things, but that's just for the community. Okay, we shouldn't even look into it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they gave, Chippewa Lake a total of $78,354.33. That was our complete total allocation.
Okay.
We spent everything except, CW Landscapes for the McCabe Creek project. That hasn't been spent yet, but we've appropriated $42,510 for that project. The net remaining balance available in our ARPA monies, if we spend all of the CW landscape and the excavating monies, will be $1,286.38. And those monies have to be spent by the end of next year, 2024.
Okay, that helped me a lot, thank you.
Anything else? Okay.
Just writing from my lens, want to piggyback on the sheriff issue. We just hired a female deputy, it's going to be, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
Thanks.
She hasn't shown up yet, but we brought up the issue about possibly combining, because our people aren't really getting the hours, because of the 12-hour shifts and so forth. And it's feasible that you might get coverage and eliminate one of your deputies, depending on how you work that out. So it's pretty much food for thought on that.
This female deputy is a Medina County Sheriff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's not-
Finally, they got a good deputy.
The other thing is, boat parking permits, has that been brought up in the past meetings, dockage?
We still have the park, we don't do it. We go through park.
We don't do it like you guys do it.
Well, they're telling us halfway through the summer that they're not allowing it anymore.
Allowing what?
For park.
To have you manage it?
Pardon?
You mean to have you manage it or?
No, that, to park your boat overnight on the dock, you have to pay X amount of dollars. If you have, lake rights.
Right.
Yeah,
My medications,
we do that now.
what do you mean we do that now?
Our village does.
They're allowed, the parks are allowing you to, if I moved into the area here, they had lake rights, I could get a permit for dockage.
Yes.
You'd have to get on somebody's private dock.
Our docks are set up different than yours.
Yeah.
They're all privately owned by a bunch of different individuals. So what you'd have to do is, even though you would have lake rights, now, remember this started when the lake was private. So you could go in the lake and you could go swimming and you could go boating, but you couldn't dock your boat. And that is not in anybody's lake rights. So then when they bought the park, they do send out the notice to the different homes of the people that have the boats, and then people pay. I know there's different fees involved, but people pay them, where you guys
Have the association.
you have that association over there, so you guys pay them. They keep all the money. We pay ours, the park district keeps
Right.
ours.
But what they're saying is, if my lake rights lapse because I missed a couple years,
They're not gonna put them back.
that they won't allow them to come back.
Yeah, well, we've heard a few things about that too. Some indicate some of our new homes that have been built don't have lake rights, and they aren't gonna give them to them. So I think that's an ongoing battle, or about to be, probably.
Well, that's the whole point of me being here. I'm trying to coordinate with, I got about 6 or 7 people over in the Glens that fall into that category. And then we don't know how many people over here that it affects.
So can they suddenly
Because we
say
were-
that they're not gonna put,
Well, yeah, that's, Glenn's asking me to look into that. And first of all, I don't think it's clear that they've come out with a written policy statement for that.
it was on our application for stickers.
Was
actually,
it? Okay. I
That they
think
weren't issuing new ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were never-
I understand it, it's a new, if somebody bought a home or a property, and it did have lake rights, but they had expired and hadn't
Right.
been kept current, the park district was not letting them pay up.
Right.
In the past, they would pay $300 penalty, a
Right.
$350 penalty, and then $150 a month after that.
Correct.
And out of the blue, about June, they said, we're not gonna do that anymore. As of January of this year.
They kind of started doing it last year with some places over, well, first of the ones I heard about were over your way, where that was the first time that surfaced, where they said they weren't gonna put the lake rights in the deeds. And when they sent the applications out this year, for the people in this village, on the application, it said that they were not putting new lake rights in. And I know just today, somebody told me about some homes that were here that, they have been docking and they don't have lake rights, and they're recent builds, brand new homes that were recently built. And we have a couple of those going in now. So we're kind of looking into that part of it. We've got 2 different sets of lake rights over here because we combined the 2 villages. The Chippewa and the lake deeds, all have lake rights in them. They never had to be paid every year like the old Briarwood Beach area did. So there's a little bit difference in what people pay as far as their yearly fees. But they still do charge everybody a fee of some sort. You guys keep that, we do not.
I understand.
And we don't want to.
No, the park district runs their docking situation, although the docks are individually owned. And you need to make an agreement with the owner of the dock to put your boat on their dock. And this goes back to, deed restrictions and covenants that go back to the 20s. And I don't believe, although I want to take another look at this, but I'm not sure there's any, I don't see in the lake rights scheme that was set up any dock right.
No, but what he's saying is they're not putting lake rights in these deeds at all, or they're taking
Right.
them out, or if they lapsed.
Well,
Like
if they've
Chippewa on the
lapsed-
lake wouldn't lapse, but Briarwood would, and apparently Glenn's, what they're saying is, if they lapse, they're not putting them back in, where originally they did. If you recall when
Right.
they bought the lake in 2008, Tom James settled with everybody for $350, no matter what they owed, some of them owed thousands of dollars.
If they had
He put
lake
the
rights.
lake rights back in, so apparently they've stopped doing that.
Right.
And apparently sooner or later, we're gonna have you find out why.
So if you miss it, if you, don't get your sticker for say 2 years, they won't.
No, it has nothing to do with your sticker,
No,
it's
it's-
supposedly your deeds.
Well,
The
in-
reinstatement of
and
the
some of the-
lake right.
Yeah, and some
Right, I meant the sticker that goes on the boat.
They
It's
don't
completely
bother checking
separate.
those stickers.
What?
That's completely separate.
It's if you have the right
Okay.
to.
The reinstatement of the right, if you hadn't had your lake rights paid up when the park took over, it was $300 to reinstate.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I remember
thereafter, it was $150 to get your sticker and to dock. If your lake rights were already paid up, then it is a different fee for those people to get that sticker to dock.
Well, there's no reinstatement fee.
And now they're
Right.
saying that there's no reinstatement fee any
There's
longer.
no
Yeah.
reinstatement, that's why.
The previous owner of the lake, Chippewa Properties, used to do that too. They'd let you reinstate your lake rights. But,
We've had one individual that moved into Gloria Glens, house has lake rights. Okay, he went out and bought a huge ass boat and everything, and made the purchase of the property, and now they're saying, well, we're not gonna give, you know, you got lake rights, we're not gonna allow you to park that in the lake overnight. So we're, you know, we got people that, real estate agents that are selling, allegedly selling properties that have, oh, you've got lake rights with that. Well, what exactly does that mean anymore? Nothing.
The main thing it means is you can't dock a boat. Everything else, everybody's got the same lake rights.
Unless they're not, unless they've lapsed.
Medina City's got the same lake rights then.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because it's a park.
So it doesn't make us
Well,
special
no.
anymore.
Huh?
It doesn't make us special anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have certain passes and stuff to use our boat ramp in our village, but if you don't have them, all you gotta do is go across the lake. So everybody's got all the lake rights except for a dock. And nobody has that. The park has to give that to us. They could take that away at any time. As far as why they're taking lake rights out of deeds, I have no idea. But I think we should probably find out sooner.
Well, this
or later.
isn't, this is an issue that's bigger than the village, and I've always thought that if push comes to shove on this, that people who want to dock on the lake might want to get together and form a group to hire legal counsel and pursue the issue.
That's why we got you.
No, I'm the attorney for the village, the two villages. But this is an issue bigger than that.
And that's probably what will happen someday, is that they'll get together and.
Right. Yeah, and that's, you know, it's beyond the scope of my job as a village solicitor, but it's something legally that might need to be done in the future or now by people who want to find out once and for all if there's any docking right. Because I know the Park District, I tend to believe this from reading all the deeds, they feel there's no docking right, period, unless they give it.
That's true.
Well,
That's
but there are legal arguments you can make because it's gone on all these decades. And they've allowed it to happen. And there's some arguments that can be made.
A couple of years back, when Parker Beach and myself had a chat, he explained it, I think, quite simply. He says, everybody has the right to use the lake safely. Nobody can keep you, you know, can say, no, you can't use the lake.
Right.
If you can get on.
If you have lake rights.
But here's the deal. So I'm gonna put a pier in and no, anybody can use the water, but when you put a pier in with the pipe, it touches my ground. Then you play with my rules. I say, no. Okay, we'll have a floating pier. We have to anchor it somehow, somewhere to keep it out there. The second that anchor goes to that ground, to your pier, that's the violation.
So your docks that you have over here,
Yes,
who owns those?
All
I
different
own
people.
All different people.
Individuals, okay, which is the same as what we have over there.
No, it isn't. Your association controls your docks. Ours individually, they just go, well, it used to be they just go put one out, now they have to get a permit.
No, you've got three or four individuals that own like
all of
you,
the docks.
the docks, and then they rent those spaces out.
And your docks are all pretty much in the same area.
Correct.
See, ours are spread all across the lakefront, and people just go and put them out. So ours is a whole different setup than yours.
Each
because-
dock here is owned by another person. So each dock you see that going along the lakefront, all along this side, somebody else owns it. I might own one, Joanne might own one, Ken might own one, each person own ones, and then they share that space with other residents.
And they have permission from the Park District, correct?
They made us get permits for
Docks are all
them.
registered.
Yes. Yes, they're registered and permitted by the park with numbers.
They didn't used to be registered.
No.
People just put them in. That's why there's so many of them. But after the park district got involved, now they have to be registered and a new one can't go in without them allowing it. But the ones that were here are still here. So we go all the way to the Oaks with our docks.
I'm familiar.
So It's a whole different setup than your docks.
But it's not just 3 or 4 people that own all of those docks and running those spaces to,
Yeah, it's
to
a whole bunch of
individuals. It's a,
It all boils down to this, you know, you're playing with the same rules that we are, but one person owns more peers instead of individuals, so it's,
But he's not, they're not
He's
giving
not
them a
talking
sticker.
about the docks, he's talking about getting a sticker for your boat. And they won't give the sticker, right?
No, the dock.
No, they don't, they're not
You have those orange
restoring.
stickers over here?
yeah.
Yeah, we have one for our boat ramp and we buy
So-
some from the park.
So we.
But Lisa, what they're talking about is the actual lake rights in the deeds. And again, the main thing, the only thing that they wouldn't be allowed, a person wouldn't be allowed to do is dock their boat. Everything else they can do. They go swimming, depending on which village they live in. If they have a swimming, they can use the lake in and out.
That's what I just said. He's saying people can't get stickers for their boats. He's not talking.
Well, you have a sticker.
If they don't have active lake rights.
Right.
They're trying, sounds like they're trying to cut back on the number of people that can dock by enforcing the lake rights. And I say, there's some legal questions there.
It's my understanding, I think they even said they're not gonna give out the stickers anymore.
Well, they don't check them anyway. That's pretty obvious. If you talk to them long enough, you know they don't check them.
Well, if they don't give out the stickers.
And if they don't check them, then
that's
they're
fine.
not abiding by their own
The
rules.
deputies that were out here were checking.
Well, they got nobody over our area checking them.
Well, get out your deputies.
It's not our lake.
No, we also.
It's not our problem. It's their problem. It's checking them.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Anything else?
Okay, Lucy, got anything?
You skip Howie.
It's okay, go ahead.
Oh, he looks like he's in a row behind you, that's why. Howard, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
Well, there you go. Lisa, do you have
Thank
anything?
I just have one thing. I just wanted to let people know that John Sandora was recognized by the Medina County Soil and Water as the Conservation Volunteer of the Year for them.
Good for him.
All the stuff he's done with the lake in terms of measurements and trying some of the new technologies in the lake, so.
did we get any data from that tech in the lake yet?
There have been issues with those again, so we don't know if we're going to continue with them or not. I think that they work very well in a small pond or something that doesn't have the kind of water action that we do in our lake. And the guy really wants to work with us, but they just.
I have a small pond you can test them in.
Yeah, we got one right down the road. You can put one in.
I don't
It
know
don't
what
work.
this,
There's two
this
in it.
blue-green algae looks
It
like,
don't work.
but there's some very
Blue.
fluorescent green looking
On Lake
stuff
Street?
in Cape
Right
Creek.
here?
Yeah,
Is that,
it comes and goes. You can't tell by looking at it. You know it's algae, but you don't know if it is kind of microsystems in it.
okay, because I mean,
They have to test it.
it's almost like glowing right along the Cape
It
Creek.
probably
Like Point
is.
Park.
It very well could be.
I've seen it.
I don't let the dogs drink out of it.
Well, and I think everybody knows they put their second dose in this year, so. That's all for cats now. They're done with what they have.
But that went into the lake, this is the creek.
So the lake will catch it when it gets there because it's got that stuff.
Well, there's good algae and bad algae, and good algae sometimes eats the bad algae, so it'll go up and down all the time.
Bill, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think we owe Keith and the company that did the paving recently a very big debt of gratitude because it is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen our new roads, they're great.
It'll be more beautiful when they get it all done.
The only problem is those of us that didn't get paid are going to get upset because our road stuff was
You didn't pay me off.
Well, make sure you direct all your complaints to Keith, especially in January.
Make it quick.
Andy? Pam? Dennis? Got anything? Oh. Okay, is there any new business?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're done.
I don't understand. I
Oh,
can't,
Keith.
I can't go after the park district.
Okay, so this is the
I can look into it.
flag.